Take it slow and nice and restorative. Let's start today lying down with a nice release for the pelvis and the back with Bakasana, so reclined butterfly. Close your eyes, feel the weight of your low back on the mat and place the hands on the belly. And let's just start breathing in and out and observing the breath. And just tell to yourself, you've done it. You survived another Tuesday. You are amazing and you're here. Start observing the inhales and the exhales. And if you are familiar with the Ujjayi breath, the oceanic breath, let's switch to that. It's very heating and grounding. And let's use that as a way to come back more and more and more within. It's the constriction of the back of the throat. Imagine you're holding a mirror on both inhales and exhales. And now try to let the belly completely raise, get lifted with the inhales, and observe the journey back out on the exhale, belly, chest, nose, and then inhale, nose, throat, chest, belly, while we let the force of gravity releasing our hips, observing our sacrum area on the mat. Let's now move our hands all the way up to the ceiling, and we're about to move our hands into kind of a loose cactus shape, palms facing up, and it's our way to surrender. Here we're literally just letting the parasympathetic system take over from the sympathetic one. We are trying to let the rest and digest system take over from, your fight and flight, your everyday life, London or whatever side of the world you are. And let's take a deep inhale and sigh out. One more, in and sigh out. From here, let's move the hands all the way towards your knees, and let's help with your hands and knees back in, and let's plant the soles of the feet on the mat. And from here, keeping either the hands on your hips or place them back down, palms facing down on the mat, we start with our pelvic clocks. So imagining a vertical line, we are just doing pelvic tilts. So we are tilting forward and back, imaging a big bowl, and your pelvis and the whole of the pelvis girdle, it's tilting forward and back. And if you're struggling to visualize this tilting action, place your hands on top of your hips, feeling the iliac crest, the bony bits of the hips, and observe how it's going all the way back, and your tailbone is tucked all the way in and out. It's really beautiful also for the sacroiliac joint, that little cartilage joint that fuels the back of our hip bones. We're massaging that too. And we stay connected to the breath. And let's start doing the pelvic clocks now. Pelvic clocks, we are adding to that vertical axis. Now we are literally moving the pelvis into a circle. So imagine you have a heavy marble ball and you're rotating and letting the ball goes to, for example, 9, and then 12, and then maybe 3 p.m, and then 6. And you use your feet to stay grounded and make this movement. And let's now reverse the movement. If you were doing clockwise, let's do anti-clockwise. It's really sequential and fluid movement. And let's release here. Bring the knees into the chest. And with your hands on top of your knees, let's add gentle squeezes. And let's be gentle, as sometimes we have a stiff low back. So we don't want to overdo it. And then let's do it one by one, knee by knee. And now let's make rotation asymmetric. One way and the other. And now let's keep the left leg flexed, bent, and the sole of the left foot on the mat, and extend the right. Interlace the fingers behind your right thighs, and let's just start with really gentle and fluid ankle rotations. And let's breathe and enjoy it. Make it very big. Maybe hearing all sorts of noise, click and clacks. And let's reverse other side. And let's flex and point now. Flex and point, and it doesn't matter what is happening with your toes. For now, it's more for the ankle. And just stay here. And if you want to keep your eyes closed and just listen to my cues, go for it. And now we are gonna go for flexing and pointing, and maybe extension and flexion, but keep your toes curled. So if you look at my toes, this is pointed and this is curled. So we keep the toes like this, and we start moving just the ankle. So if you notice, this is my ankle extended, this is my ankle flexed. So we are just working on flexion and extension of the ankle joint, and we keep the metatarsus area flexed with the toes pointing towards your face. I know that I just throw at you a lot of words, but you know, slowly we learn together, and you know what I'm talking about. And today you'll just have a look what I'm doing. Now we are pointing, and we do the same thing, flexion and extension, or we could say dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, keeping the toes into a ballerina kind of way. And then let's do rotations. I know your calf muscles are probably a little bit starting heating up, and another side. But it is beautiful mobility and release, increasing circulation. Nice. Now slowly, either keep your hands here if you're feeling that your hamstring is already at the maximum range of movement. Otherwise, slide your hands behind your calf, and we start bending the elbows towards the outside of the room, and we just do micro pulsations, keeping your toes flexed, or if you need to, just release the foot and just let it be. But if it feels good, just stay here. Let's start contracting slightly your quad muscles, and let's do nice pulsations. Now let's flex. The leg is going to intensify the stretch here, and let's do the same thing. Nice release also. Now hamstrings and legs after a long day, maybe sitting at the desk. Nice. And now release. Bring that knee back into the chest, and let's find a nice figure 4 stretch. So it's right ankle on top of the left knee. And let's stay here for a moment. Observe your pelvis. You're in neutral. Your right hand is gently pressing the inside of your right thigh towards the mat. And if this is feeling already quite challenging, you may stay here. Or gently on the inhale, you start lifting your left leg, interlace the fingers behind your left thigh. If it's available and you have space, let's press with the right elbow, your right thigh. Inhale here. Exhale, we start pulling gently, maybe a millimeter at a time, your left thigh closer to your chest. and it's all energetic. It doesn't need to be a big movement. And if you have any capacity in terms of range of movement, flex both feet. It's going to make it more intense. Breathe. Inhaling into the tension, exhaling to find more space. If it's okay and you have range of movement, let's maybe play and move your interlace on top of your left knee. This is just an option if after a few breaths you're feeling that you have more space. We are releasing your deep hip flexors, your iliopsoas muscle, the hamstring, releasing the glutes. There is so much going on. And let's open now the arms into T shape, keeping the legs as they are. On the exhale, we're dropping the whole group, right leg and left leg to the left, and look towards your right. Breathe. Deep release into the spine twist. I don't know if you can hear. I hope you do, because my parents have a little fireplace and now the wood is all crackling and there is this beautiful sound of fire. And inhale, let's bring the legs back to the center. Both knees into the chest. Is creating a really cozy vibe over here, even though it's basically Easter, but it's still kind of chilly. Now let's release the right leg, keep the knee bent, right sole of the foot onto the mat, and let's do the same thing that we were doing before. Extend the leg, just gently interlace the finger behind your thigh, and we are just doing some ankle rotations. And the toes right now, they're not doing anything in particular, just being. And let's reverse other side. My ankles are doing a lot of sounds, clicking and clacking, and that's totally normal. Now let's just freestyle, kind of flexing and pointing. And now let's stop and let's find that flexion of the ankle, and we start with also curling of the toes, meaning flexion around your metatars, which is here. And then inhale, exhale, let's start moving very mindfully the ankle. This is really nice, and it's one of the secrets for healthy aging of our joints. Let's make some rotations here. Other rotation, keeping the toes flexed. And your brain is probably going like, what are you doing? I don't know, what is this movement? And that's what we want. Now point, same thing. Flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. And now let's start making rotations. Other side. Nice and fun. And just release and let's start walking. Work with your range of movement. If this was already too much, stay. Otherwise, slowly move your hands up, maybe all the way to the middle of the calf. For today, this is what we are going. And then open the elbows towards the side. Inhale. On the exhale, we gently start pulling the leg towards our chest. We stay for 3 or 4 breaths, and then we'll intensify it a little bit. And keep playing with the range of movement. We are perhaps now starting engaging with flexion of the ankle, sending the heel towards the ceiling, starting contracting the front of the thigh, and bring the leg closer and closer to your chest. This should feel amazing, Pascal, especially if you've been running today. If you did any leg day at the gym, We are releasing. One more inhale here. Nice, and exhale, figure 4, left ankle on top of the right knee. And as before, we take it easy. We start by pulsating a little bit the left thigh towards the back of the room, finding a neutral pelvis first. And then if we want more, on the inhale, we lift the leg up, finding a 90-degree angle with your knees, both of them, and then interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. If it's available, your left elbow is pushing out towards the back of the room, your left thigh. Inhale here. Exhale. See where is your range of movement today. If your hips or the hip flexors or, the psoas and the hamstrings are happy, maybe we start pulling more your right thigh towards your chest. And we send the breath. It's very important to maintain a steady flow of inhales and exhales, getting the oxygen, and also a steady and calm breath. Let our brain know that we are in control and we know what we're doing. If you want more, interlace the fingers on top of your right knee, be gentle. This is just an option, you don't have to go for it. And notice if you're gripping and if there is any tension on the back of the neck and the shoulders, try to relax it. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, let's open the arms into T shape and let's send your left leg and the right leg towards the side for a spine twist. Maybe your right hand on top of your left knee. Breathing in and exhaling out. Feel free to close your eyes and really enjoy this release of the vertebrae. Usually the lumbar being so stiff, and also the thoracic with overflexion. One more. And slowly use the inhale to bring your legs back into the middle and bring the knees into the chest and then the nose towards the knees, and let's squeeze. And let's start doing some rolls. Gentle massaging is more to massage your back than anything. And then let's find our cross-legged position. So if you're feeling that in cross-legged is not comfortable today, grab a cushion and sit on top of your cushion and lift your hips. I'm okay for today, but there should be no tension here. And then we're gonna do a little bit more of spine and neck release for today. So we'll start with some lateral raises. So place the fingertips to the side of the body or the palm of the hand. See what feels more comfortable. And then on the next inhale, you're lifting your left arm up, palm facing to the side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we start flexing to the side, feeling the length through the left hip. And we keep both sitting bones onto the mat. Maybe you're looking up at your hand, or maybe you're looking down depending on the neck. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen even more. And the sensation here, it's a dual movement. One from the diagonal and one is the flexion. So not only flexion and collapsing to the side, you're also lengthening and creating space in between your vertebrae. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the side, your left hand on top of your right knee. And we are doing a twist. Let's find a little bit more of a lengthening. Exhale, release more. Option is also to move your right hand even more behind you to find a little bit more length. And then let's come back to the center. Inhale up. Exhale, release the hands to the side. Find your neutral first. Observe your hips. See if you are over talking about that salad bowl, if you're anteriorly tilting, like going this way. So or posteriorly tilting. And let's do the other side. So now is the left hand down, lift the right hand up, palm is facing the side. Inhale, lift, 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 create space first. And on the exhale, flexing. Option, look up or look down. Feel the lengthening of the body, the lengthening of the torso. Use the breath, especially the inhalations, to expand the rib cage. This should feel quite good, especially if you have a stiff low back. And then on the exhale, we're just releasing your right hand on top of the left knee, and we are lengthening the torso and twisting. Feel free to move your left hand a little bit deeper behind you, or you can keep it here for a more gentle twist. So inhaling up, exhaling, twist. One more. And release. Let's come back up to the center. Exhale, extend the hands in front of you. And from here, you're bending the elbow, right elbow in line with your right shoulder. And your left elbow, it's just basically mirroring your right. And from here, we inhale all together. On the exhale, you start looking towards your left with your nose. And then the shoulders follow, and the chest, and the waist. And then you stop. You take an inhale into the twist. On the exhale, is waist coming back first, and then the shoulders, and then the nose. And let's go again, other side. Inhale. Exhale, nose, shoulders, chest. Stop. Inhaling to maintain. And exhale, chest, shoulders, and head. Let's do one more in your own time, each way. Inhaling. Exhaling, moving. Inhale to maintain. And then do not forget about reversing the movement on the way back. Nice, and then finally release. Now open your legs into a long froggy. So the long froggy is a very long, almost a diamond shape. Notice if there is any excessive rounding of the back or excessive arching of the back. We try to keep the pelvis neutral and also to lengthen the spine. Hands on the shins. We're gonna do some roll downs, meaning that we're gonna mobilize the spine. So finding your neutral spine first. So also the chin is parallel to the mat. And imagine that something is pulling you up. Inhaling. On the exhale, tuck the chin in and start curling your cervical vertebrae, thoracic, lumbar. And then when we have this C shape and we start extending onto the hips, we stop. We take an inhale. Exhale, we start reversing lumbar, thoracic, cervical, until the head lifts. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Going for that sequential shape. Inhale here. Exhale. Let's come back up. And beautiful. Then release. Let's do a butterfly now. Let's grab the big toes and let's start making the butterfly fly. Let's create some pulsations. Feeling the movement from your femur bone and the hip joint. And then from here we find a static hold. Inhale. Exhale, we start flexing forward. Send the elbows out to the side. And now today I'm all black and black. I hope that you can see, but I'm sending my elbows to the side of my calves or the shins. and I'm sending my chest forward, and I'm trying to use my hold to flex more. And here, sometimes it happens that we round, trying to send the nose, but I'd love if you could keep your chest very long and flex forward. And keep that breath active. Not sure if you're still doing your ujjayi. If you're doing, that's amazing. If you're not, it's okay. Just keep breathing. And slowly, slowly come back up. Extend the legs in front of you. Let's find a Dandasana. So this pose is very, very important for a lot of reasons, mainly because we are training the front thigh. We are retraining that kind of like activation of the legs and the toes, and also the hip flexors. We are kind of sneaking in extra workout for the hip flexors. So before doing anything, let's find a steady grounding through the sitting bones, and roll the shoulders back, and we are trying to stack again our spine evenly. So if you need to, move your glutes to the side, hands, the fingertips or the palms of the hands onto the mat. I'd say today let's go with fingertips, and then micro bend a little bit your elbows pointing towards the back. Look forward, and then your toes. We worked already in the warm-up on, this kind of like a metatarsal flexion of trying to bend through the feet metatarsals and having the toes pointing towards you. Now we are adding an extra layer, trying to have all the toes in one line. The ankles are touching, and you're activating a lot the legs, so much that maybe your heels are lifting off the mat. And keep lengthening the spine, and we stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, keep contracting your quads, the front of the thighs. Your dorsal spine is active. You're feeling that your shoulder blades are sliding in, and the upper part of the trapeze muscles are activated and contracted. Keep breathing. Nice, and from here, let's lift the arms up, Tapaski. So the hands now, the palms are facing each other. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. Open the chest. Stay here. I know that probably your thighs are starting to burn. Just a couple of breaths. Keep lifting the chest. And now finally, let's exhale and lengthen. Now your heels are touching the mat, and maybe you're grabbing on the top of the toes, the sides, the ankles, the shins, or the thighs, or if you have a strap or something, feel free to use it. Even if you're here and you're pulling from the back of the thighs is okay. Whatever you are, we are creating a pulling sensation from the chest all the way forward. Try to keep the back straight. And then we flex forward, release the head. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, we slowly start coming back up, one vertebra at a time. Have a little bit of engagement through the core to protect the low back. And then interlace your legs, and we are finding an all fours. I'm going to remove some of the layers that I've got so that you can see me better. So in all fours, the hands, the palms are onto the mat. Sorry, that was super cold before. And your knees are as wide as your hips. So we are going to do just some wrist warm-ups. So let's start making some big circles. Either direction, it's okay. Let's reverse other side. And let's start making these circles very big, making our spine part of it, almost a vertical cat and cow. Sorry, horizontal cat and cow. And let's reverse this different cat and cow. Other side. And then we come back to our neutral and let's do our traditional cat and cow. Drop the belly, start looking up, flex the back of the neck, squeeze the shoulder blades in, inhaling, exhaling, head and pelvis move together, and we start moving the gaze as all the vertebrae start moving sequentially, and inhale, other side. Exhale again. Inhaling. Exhale. Try to feel the movement bone by bone. And we do the last one. Exhale deep. Find hands and knees, and we're gonna go for thread the needle. Inhale, lift your arm up. We're sending the palms towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Inhale one more time. Exhale, we are twisting the whole spine. Drop your left shoulder down, side of the head down. Extend your right hand with the palm facing down. You may stay here. Otherwise, we are extending the right leg. Activate your glutes, the back heel, pressing down. Your quads are active. Otherwise, another option is to bring your right hand and find the bind. Look up, open the chest. We stay here for 3 breaths. And exhaling, we start bringing back the right hand down, right knee down, and pressing with the right hand. We are coming back to the center. Find neutral again before we move. And now lift the right elbow, extend fully the arm, open the chest, inhale, exhale, thread the needle, drop the right shoulder, side of the head down, extend the left arm, palm facing down, and you may stay here. Otherwise, we are extending the left leg. Same thing, heel, the left heel is pressing back. Contract the left thigh, the quad, and then rotate the arm if you want to, and find your bind. Maybe sending the nose towards the ceiling. Breathing. 3 breaths. And the next time you're exhaling, bringing the left hand back down onto the mat, left knee back, pressing through the left hand, come back into your hands and knees, and then widen the knees, more wider, almost as your mat, and press back into your child pose. Release the forehead onto the mat. Deep inhales into the belly, feeling the expansion, and release onto the hips. And your fingertips are active and pressing your sitting bones closer to your hips. Sorry, I meant your sitting bones closer to your heels. One more here. And when you're ready, let's lift slightly your head, enough to just be able to tuck your toes, and then press with your hands, and we are finding our down dog. And let's make it a dynamic one. Bend one knee, open the chest to one side, and then bend the other. I need to remove my socks, but you stay in your down dog. Continue moving and send the movement where you need it. If you're feeling that you need to bend the knees or to open the chest, go for it. Maybe going for some rolls and waves with the spine, plank to down dog to plank, feel free. And then we find that we're still down dog. The legs are a little bit wider than your hips. We try to press down through the heels. Then look at your hands and see if all 10 fingers are spread with the two index fingers parallel. And then keep pressing, and feeling the whole of the arm extending. Your armpit is fully extended. There is no tension in between your shoulders. There is space in between your shoulders and your ears. Maybe bend a little bit the knees and send the chest even more back. One more inhale. And let's start walking the hands this time towards your feet. Slowly. There is no rush. Contraction of your bandhas, Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. There is a 2% bend onto the knees. And we stay here, release the head. Let's start walking side to side. Ragdoll. And then grab opposite elbows and do the same thing. Up and down, let the head say yes and no. Change the hold of the elbows. And then bend the knees and slowly, let's come back up. One vertebra at a time, with your glutes protecting your lumbar spine. And here we are standing. Let's start rolling the shoulders back a couple of times. And forward. And then inhale, send the arms up, and then with your right hand, you're grabbing your left wrist. And let's lift and do a mini banana. So let's stretch. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Come back to the center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, back to the center and release the arms. So the arms now are extended and the palms are relaxed. Let's do a couple of heel raises. We are just stacking the spine. Your rib cage, it's in. Notice if it's out, rib cage is in, and also we are stacking the lumbar. So we're finding a nice and stacked. I don't know how many times I said stacked, but that's very important. And then find some grounding through your feet. You're feeling that the whole weight is distributed through the whole of the sole of both your feet. And then from here, we are tilting forward, challenging the balance until we are lifting the heels. Start pressing through the metatars, through your toes. You're trusting your toes, and keep your chest open, shoulder blades are back, and your tailbone is tucked. Inhale here. On the exhale, we are just dimming with the heels down, pressing down, feeling the calves activating, no touching onto on the mat, and then press again up. And same thing, down and up without touching, and down. Let's do two more, and up, down, up, and down. Release everything. Well done. So let's just stretch those toes, maybe a mini toe stretch at a side. And let's do a little bit of Mexican waves with the toes. Look at your toes. Lift all 10 toes, and then let's place them back down from the outside. So it will be pinky to the big one, and then lift the big toe. And let's continue like this. Just a few. Warming up. Today is mobility day. Nice, and release. Then from here, let's slowly, we're gonna do a roll down standing. So stack again everything. Feel your feet grounded. Feel that your spine is in line and your shoulder blades are open. There is a natural curve happening into the spine. Inhale, exhale, tuck the chin. Cervicals rolling. Now thoracic. The arms are just staying. And now we are getting into the lumbar and we're flexing onto the hips, but then we are holding this curve. It's called kind of a C curve. You're holding it and then you keep flexing on the hips and sending the weight forward. And we are kind of doing a freestyle between Pilates and yoga. So from this C curve now we are just walking our hands all the way forward into a plank for just one moment. Inhaling, exhaling, step your right foot outside of the right hand. Drop the left knee, untuck the left toes, and we are opening the chest. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, try to have this pulling sensation of your hands that are pulling you forward, and you are feeling your the front hip flexor, especially the left, opening more. Breathe in and out. Push your hips back. Let's do a couple of circles here. It's kind of a hybrid between a lizard and a half runner split. Now let's do the other side. We are really kind of like doing a nerve flossing in here. Fascia flossing. I'm feeling my deep hip flexors kind of like clicking for me. Nice. And then from here, move your right hand outside of the right foot and heel toe your foot to be at the center of your chest. Inhale. Exhale, we start pushing our hips back into the space and we are going for a full extension of the knee, flexion of the ankle and the toes, so the foot is very active. And then you're welcome to stay here. Use cushions underneath your hands if it's too much. Otherwise, you stay, and you hold it for a moment and imagine that your heel is really pressing down onto the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Now we let the foot slide all the way back and we are sitting, if possible, with your left glute on top of your left heel. And then we try to keep our hips even. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades in. Exhale, we go for a forward fold. Breathe here. And exhale, push all the way forward. Yes. And let's take a moment again and move your hand again inside of your right foot. And let's go for your lizard. So tuck the back toe and really see if you can find any more room in extending and increasing the spacing between your front heel and the back toes. And then drop again your foot. And then we are working our way to lizard. So you may stay here or dropping your elbows down onto the mat. Maybe wiggling a couple of times, your right hip to see if you can create space and see if you can drop both elbows down. Breathing in, breathing out. And then open the chest to the side, right hand inside of the right thigh. Press it out and let the right foot open. So the soles of the foot is up. You are on the outside edge of your right foot. Nose towards the ceiling, chest towards the ceiling. Keep breathing. And let's come back up. Now rotate towards the center. We are going for a frog. So if you notice, my knees are wider than my hip. Knees, flexed feet, and we are releasing towards the center. And here is very subjective to the mobility of your hips. You may just drop here, and this is probably already intense and horrible. If you're not feeling anything, increase the distance between your knees and increase also the angle. So see that I'm pushing my feet more towards the outside. Sorry, I'm decreasing actually the angle because it's getting more than 90 degrees. And then maybe you're dropping your elbows down, and we just start rocking forward and back. Breathe. You'll notice that the more you stay here and the more your hips will create space, and it will feel less horrible. Keep breathing. See if there is any more room. And now we hold it. No more rocking forward and back. It's more you pressing with your elbows, your hips back. Breathe. One more. Now, walk your hands closer to you, press your chest up, don't move. The first thing you move, it's your toes. Touch with your toes and then move back. It's the way to get out of this pose, otherwise your knees is all tricky. And then from here, let's go back to the front of the mat. Keeping your right leg forward, tuck the back toes, tuck front toes, push your hips back into your down dog. Ooh. And let's walk the dog. Lift your right leg up, bend the knee, and let's make some knee circles. Press your hands onto the mat, even distribution. Keep your shoulders stable. Feel the mobilization through your femur bone and the hips. And let's change now other side. And keep breathing. And release your right foot down. And let's do the left. So lift the left, bend the knee, strong through the hands. And let's start making these beautiful circles. It doesn't matter which way, just feel your hip working and releasing. Reverse. And now bring your left leg down. And let's start pressing again your hands towards your feet. And micro bend the knees and contracting the glutes. Let's start bringing the chest up. Let's come back to standing. Slowly, slowly. Head last. Let's roll your shoulders back once you're back standing. And forward. And on the inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale. Let's start doing kind of like a swan dive. Send the chest forward, interlace your fingers, and let's release the chest and arms. Nice. Send your head and nose forward, and your weight is onto the toes, almost that you could lift your heels if you wanted to. But that's just an idea. It's more an intention of where your weight is going. Keep breathing and enjoy this release. And And then slowly, slowly start bringing the hands back down. Now right hand underneath your face, and the left hand is sliding in line with the left, and then is opening to the side. Right knee is bending, look up. Inhale. Exhale, release other side, right arm up. Inhale. Exhale down, one more each side. Inhale. Have the knees bend and help you into the twist. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale down. And now inhale. Let's do a halfway lift. We try to extend the legs, lengthen the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades. Back of the neck is strong. Inhale here. Exhale, release the torso, but the palms are staying strong, and we walk the hands back forward. Find a plank just for a moment. Inhaling. Exhale, this time we are stepping the left foot forward. And let's start rocking forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Nice. Forgive me, just heel toe your foot in between your hands. Nice, let's do this first. Nice, and let's just do some hip pulsations, left and right, up and down. Inhale here. On the exhale, start pressing your hips back, bend the knee. And we're going for this half runner split to drop the back knee. Sorry, I didn't mention. Flex the front foot. Have this contraction of the left thigh, full extension of flexion of the ankle and the toes. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Inhale here. Keep contracting the front thigh. Have this sensation of your heel pressing down. And now let's let the heel slide and come back all the way. Untuck your back toes and sit on the back heel. And release for a couple of breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, one more. And exhale. Now, as we're sliding back up, let your foot get outside of your left hand, and let's find our low lizard. So as we did before, I just inverted the order because I thought that it was better. But now let's tuck again that toes and find more length if it's available. And then drop again the knee, untuck the toes. And we are wiggling for a moment, maybe opening a little bit here, the knee to the side. And then find your lizard. So you're bending the elbows if it's okay. And if you have that range of movement, otherwise place your elbows on top of a cushion or a block and breathe. It's super important to breathe. Yeah, nice. One more. And when you're ready, lift your left hand, keeping your right where it is, and just press the leg out and let your chest open, look up. Have your left shoulder slide in to let your chest open more and the shoulder open more. Nice. Oh, this should feel quite good. And let's come back up, palms onto the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back into your down dog. Inhale. And then exhaling, step the right foot outside of the right hand, left foot outside of the left hand, and drop into your malasana, your yogi squat. And we're nearly there. Let's just rock side to side, feeling the hips. Today we did a lot of mobility and release, deep work. More isometric movement than isotonic, equally important. Nice. Now release. Hands onto the mat. And then we are stepping both feet back. And then let's get into plank and let's get down onto the mat. Slowly, slowly. Inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release. Well done. Let's find a Sphinx pose. So hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale up. Find Sphinx. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now just release everything and turn and send your belly up towards the ceiling. From here, if you want to wear some layers to feel warm and cozy, go for it. Whatever you have around, find your supine position. Close your eyes. And let's do any less movement that you need to. Otherwise, let's just find full length of the spine. See if there is any tension anywhere. And let's take one inhale all together. Hold the breath and squeeze every single muscle in your body. Squeeze everything. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And exhale. One more inhale. Hold the breath and squeeze everything. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And exhale, release, 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 release. And let's prepare for your Yoga Nidra, which is going to be your Shavasana. So close your eyes. Palms are facing up. And there's nothing else that you need to do apart relaxing and listening to my voice, finding deep, deep, deep relaxation and release through every single muscle of the body, using your breath. So bring the attention to your body onto the mat. The whole of the body is heavy and relaxed and pressing onto the mat. Feel the weight of your body on the mat. Feel your heels, the back of the calves, your thighs, your glutes, the hips, and the low back, and part of the thoracic, your shoulder blades, the shoulders, the arms, and the hands, your hand, all relaxed and heavy on the mat. Feel the energy flowing, the warmth released by the palms of the hands. Feel your inhalations fill you with clear, fresh air, bringing in goodness, positivity, confidence, optimism, and the exhales releasing intrusive thoughts, negativity, fears, lack of self-confidence, everything that doesn't serve you. Exhale it out. Inhale whatever you need the most now, because you are already that. And exhale what you don't need now. And just imagine this beautiful energy spread into the body. Imagine the roots of a tree, getting all the nutrients, the life force. And let's sink this idea deeper and deeper, this nourishing idea, deeper and deeper, for the next 2 minutes. Take a deep inhale and exhale, side out. Inhale again in. Exhale, side out. Start moving fingers and toes. And from small movement, bigger movement. Maybe start stretching your legs or bring the legs, the knees into your chest and hug yourself. And when you're ready, roll to your right side. Use your right forearm to support your head. Keep your eyes closed for just 1 more minute. Not a real minute, just a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, press yourself up with your left hand. Find a cross-legged position. Keep your eyes closed, hands to heart center, and just notice how you're feeling now compared to the class, to the beginning of the class. Set an intention for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week. And let's close the class with gratitude. I'm very grateful for you sharing your practice with me. And you should be thankful for this time that you've given to yourself to release blocked energy, tension into the body. And let's say thank you to the culture and the heritage that brought yoga to us. Inhaling. And exhale, bow your head towards your prayer. Rub your hands together. Place your hands on top of your eyelids, the eyes. Energizing everything, energizing the eyelids, and then move your hands away. And this is the end of the practice. Thank you so much for joining.